Hey, Lock 22 Nation, it's your boys. Gobo, with me as always is Dames, our fearless leader, and this is NFL.
Truly.
It is. And if you are a fan of several of these teams on the list, you're right in hell with us. Well, not so much for me maybe this year. My Packer having kind of a good year so far, but we're going to talk about kind of like what's going to happen going forward. Um, but here we are. It's week 9 of the NFL season. Officially past the halfway, or no, this is the halfway point. No, 17 games. So yeah, well,
Bye week.
officially past the halfway point. Um, we're talking about all kinds of crazy NFL storylines, but we're going to start first of all where degrees are earned and skills are learned back in the college game. Um, man, what like this is the first year of the NCAA playoff, and it is going to be bananas, like certified bananas. Like I think Indiana's definitely going to get in. They're going to have a shot to shock the world. I mean, James, tell me about it. What are your perspectives? You just saw these Hoosiers last week against your Huskies.
Look, this Indiana team I thought would be at least favored in three of their last four games. The only exception being Ohio State. I still feel that way, but I think they actually have a chance to beat Ohio State, especially given what performance they put up against Nebraska this week. I want to give a shout out to Boise State. I think they have a chance to get in with their win over UNLV and pretty much dominating the Mountain West. They're at 15 right now. They got to come in a little bit, but man, they could do it, and it'd be awesome to see them go against some of these other Big Ten teams. It's gonna be a fun mashup, dude. BYU is in
Mm.
there. Oregon is just
Oregon's going for sure.
cleaning people.
Oregon is so good this
Bama
year.
blanked Missouri this week. I mean, you got Texas at 6, beating Vanderbilt barely.
I was gonna say, what is going on in Vanderbilt? Like they beat Alabama, they almost beat Texas.
They
I'm at
won
this
it, man.
point. I think Vanderbilt should be ranked. I really do.
I think they should be ranked
Yeah, give them the 25 spot. They've earned it
for sure. What about, dude? And we're forgetting about Notre Dame because they don't have a place. They don't
because they
sit
don't have a
there.
conference. But yeah, no, the Notre Dame and I think that all like not even more Notre Dame side because yeah, they beat the shit out of Navy. Which wouldn't be that surprised except Navy was undefeated.
Yeah,
You know
maybe
who else is undefeated? Is Army. Both of the service academies are just like destroying. And Army got a big win this week. Um, so it's like, could we have a service academy in the playoff? If Army wins out, I think they get a shot.
awesome.
But they gotta win the Army Navy game, which they don't a lot of the time. So I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I watched the my mom's a huge Missouri fan, and so yeah, we watched the Alabama Missouri game. It was not pretty. The Tigers, come on, guys. Yeah, I think Vanderbilt definitely deserves a 25 spot over them.
Dude,
And
especially when you go into that game thinking you got a chance to beat Bama and then to put up a blank. That's
yeah, Leia Leia Goose Egg. Their quarterback was hurt, but still, like you can't score zero, boys. Um, and then yeah, my Buffs win again. Beat the Cincinnati Bearcat Bengals, what have you. I know that the media would like to get Colorado in the playoff, but they got to win the big. They got to get at least go to the final of the Big 12 for that to happen. But yeah, I mean, there's so many fun teams. Miami, have you been following Miami this year? They've been a lot of fun to watch. Um,
LSU, Texas A&M.
The LSU Texas A&M game was fun. That's such a great rivalry. A lot of people forget about that, but like A&M is in East Texas, and so they're not that far away from Louisiana, and so it's like, yeah, that's kind of like a 2 hour drive. Like all the fans travel. There's fighting in the parking lots. Yeah, it's one of those.
It's a good one for sure.
Yeah. So college. A lot of fun. Um, some stuff in the NFL, not so fun. We talked about it on the recap show. The AFC South sort of unraveling. The Titans are definitely hurting big time. Jacksonville just sent off one of their key offensive linemen, and the Colts deciding that Anthony Richardson is going to take a break. Maybe done, maybe coming back, but Joe Flacco is in as the number one in Indy.
I don't like it. I think he picked AR because you knew he was not a finished product. You knew he was going to be a project. He got injured 3 games into the first season. What do you like? He was been injured a couple games already this season. Who's coaching this kid? Who's coaching? Is he not coachable? I guess we don't know the full story, but when you just say, well, after that 3-point loss to a team that most people thought we would lose to by multiple scores, we're going to go back to Joe Flacco. I don't,
I don't
what
get it.
does that do?
Well, and on top of it, it's like I think if this was a few years ago, I could understand that like Joe Flacco gives us the best chance at winning argument, but he really hasn't recently. Like he was bad for the Jets, he was bad for the Broncos. Like it's you're a very far long way away from prime Joe Flacco. And so the fact that you're sitting your marquee young quarterback, this guy that like, you're really trying to figure out, trying to give him the reps. You're three, because what are they, 3-4?
You're four and
Um,
four. Are you
they're
going to
four
win the
and four.
Super Bowl this year? No. You know that. That's what
But
everybody's
like
goal is. Why would
this
you?
is this is a Colts team that's traditionally been towards the bottom of the pack, and they're hanging in there. I think, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me either, man. Like I think about it as if I'm coaching the Colts, like let him in there, let him stay in there, let him take his licks, let him learn, let him make mistakes. Because, like you said, yeah, they're not winning the Super Bowl this year, but like you do this, like you let him work his shit out. You go 7-8 this year, or you go what 8-9 this year. Next year, you come back, you make the playoffs, you get a shot.
Well, and the worst case scenario of playing this kid is you get a draft pick, a better draft pick. You're not winning the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. You're 4 and 4. What are you doing? Just
I
play it
don't
out.
get it.
At least you know. You don't know based on one bad game against Houston, and it wasn't even that bad. He had like a 49-yard touchdown pass. So clearly he can dump the ball when he needs to. It's like he's not the reason that that offense is not successful.
And I saw
And
him struggle against Green Bay in the game that we played against the Colts. But I've seen him play better than that. I've seen him make improvements. And that's all
CJ
you
Stroud struggled against Green Bay.
Green Bay's got a great defense. Turns out. Um so yeah, I don't get it. Colts, if you got somebody from the head office that wants to come on our show and explain this to us, you're more than welcome. Um you could even go to Dame's house studio. He'll feed you. It'll be a great time. Um, all right, Deontay. Now here's something that makes a lot more sense to me. Deontay Johnson out of Carolina. Which, yeah, if you have a talent of any kind and you're wearing a Panthers uniform, take it off. Get the fuck out of there. Deontay Johnson's going to the Ravens, who desperately need a receiver right now with Zay Flowers having some injury concerns and them kind of faltering in their own division. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this trade?
It's good for both. I mean, the Panthers need. I'll just say the Panthers need.
I was gonna say there's nothing the Panthers don't need.
Ravens need talented receivers to take more pressure off of um, Homeboy because he's doing everything. He's doing everything, and I've thought at times they were the best team in the NFL, but then I look at they got exposed by Cleveland. By Cleveland, hapless.
Anything can happen in a division game.
It's so true, but I don't know that this one guy turns it around, but clearly they need to give him some help, and this does that. Takes a little bit of pressure off of him. So yeah, we'll see how things roll in the future, but The NFL is crazy, man. It's crazy.
It really is, and I think that it's sometimes there's decisions that don't make a lot of sense to the fans, to the fan base, and then there's other decisions that do. I think that this trade makes a lot of sense. Um, like I like Deontay. I got him on my fantasy team. I've been watching him play all season. I think he is far beyond what the supporting cast in Carolina can provide him. So I wish him well in Baltimore, especially since he's still on my fantasy team and now is hopefully will be a little bit more of a promising guy. But yeah, he seems like a good character guy. Seems like a good on-field leader. So yeah, we'll see how he does with the Ravens. Another trade that makes a lot of sense to me. Vikings struggle against the Rams. They're having some problems. When Darnold has time to throw the ball, he does great. When he's on his back, not so much. So they go and pick up Cam Robinson from the Jaguars. Give the Jaguars some draft capital. Is this Jacksonville punting the season?
Well, they don't have a choice. I mean, really, they can win out and probably not make the playoffs. Uh,
Because they have one win, don't they?
they have two. I mean, I suppose they're not completely dead in the water just yet, but the fact of the matter is the Vikings need to replace their left tackle.
Hmm.
That loss was huge for them, so they know that. So they got on it fast. And I don't know why the Jaguars are looking to sell. They're already one of those teams that may be just looking towards the draft. Um, but they've got a lot of money put into Trevor Lawrence, and he's not going to be protected anymore. Um, he's got to be frustrated. I mean, he's probably what are we doing? I need that guy.
I was gonna say you want your left tackle. That's your especially. Or no, is Trevor Lawrence a lefty?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
okay, so that's not his blindside tackle then. So that's okay. They can move guys around. They could probably keep him protected-ish. Um, but yeah, it's still a huge loss for the Jaguars, and I think it's a huge pickup for the Vikings. I think that makes them a lot better on offense, which is unfortunate because the Vikings were already pretty damn good on offense. Um, but yeah, it's funny because it's like we're talking about the Panthers and the Jaguars, two teams that came into the league at the same time, 1996. Um, they've had both kind of different experiences. Panthers made a couple of Super Bowls. Jaguars are not doing that at all. And they're both kind of struggling and building up towards this next draft. So I think it's just like, is it a resurgence year for these two teams, or is it, we'll find out. I don't know. The Panthers are frustrating because you watch them and it's just like it's been multiple seasons at this point where they've just made the wrong choices. And it's just like, at what point do you fire the GM? Because you can only fire so many coaches before you realize it's not the coach.
Yeah, we talked about this a little on the other show, but literally size concerns with Bryce Young, and you pick him number one overall. You should have just traded that pick away
Right.
because what you would have gotten for it is not a guy that's sitting on your bench right now.
Well, look at the Bears. Bears are the number one pick. They traded it away,
They would
and
be
they have a functional offense now. They don't have the best. I don't think I still disagree with the Caleb Williams pick, but like that DJ Moore acquisition and then some of the other guys they drafted, pretty good.
no. I like about one third of what the Bears are doing.
That's so fair.
And it's it really the most frustrating thing to me was they know that Eberflus is not the man of the future.
Yeah, I think they
And
get a
they
new coach. They
didn't
got a better
fire him
shot.
when they should have because, dude, think about, and I get it, man. There's so much going on. You have to figure out who you're going to draft, and you don't want to have to be finding a new coach in the midst of all that who's going to be meddling. But you traded Justin Fields away. Justin Fields has proven to be a decent-ish.
At least starter quality quarterback.
Or yeah, I mean, at least what Caleb Williams is right now.
100%.
And I'm not saying Caleb Williams can't grow from here, but when you really sit down and think about, you could have got three first round draft picks from a really bad team. And that's life changing, man. And then you still could have had Rome Odunze with Justin Fields and more. And then you could have had whatever offensive line you
Yeah.
want. You
And
could,
maybe bolster that running back. Maybe DeAndre Swift turns into Saquon or
dude,
Josh Jacobs.
or you could go and get Montgomery or Gibbs from the Lions. They are not using both of those guys to their full potential.
You maybe make a play on Stephon Diggs. Like, yeah, there's so much they could have done if they
Dude,
trade
I
that pick.
just uh,
But you know what? That's fine. It's the Bears. We're not talking about the Bears. We're talking about the Jaguars, and hopefully they make better decisions with the draft capital they're putting together.
yeah, hopefully.
But
Because
the Jaguars did
the
have
last one they
back-to-back number
picked
one picks.
when they picked Bryce Young instead of CJ Stroud, just imagine, dude. We could still be laughing at Houston
We could.
while
Yeah.
Carolina could be a
Oh
playoff.
my God. Yeah, Bryce Young on the Texans. Oh,
Wow.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
wow.
bro.
Yeah.
Eek. Anyways, okay. Yeah, it's not like this year where it's like, you pick Jaden, you pick Caleb Williams. They're both pretty good. Like I think Jaden's way, way better, but I think that like Caleb Williams is still a good quarterback. He's still has still talented. Like Bryce Young, I don't think should be in the league. Um, anyways,
Let me ask you this though. We understand the height concerns of Bryce Young, but do you not feel like, let's say he was in San Francisco with their full plethora of offensive players, that he would be at least as good as Brock Purdy?
no, I don't.
You
I
don't?
don't. No, no,
I
no, I don't.
think I think I would love to see it, is what I would like.
I mean, we might at some point. Brock Purdy can't play forever. Um,
Well, they're gonna have to pay him, which is gonna be hilarious.
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't. I mean, they're going to because they've been winning with him. So like his agent is gonna make that case, which he should. But yeah, I don't. I don't. Yeah, no. Anyways, speaking of a quarterback with height concerns, Russell Wilson playing great in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't want to keep harping on this story too much, but it is my feel-good story of the year since Seahawks are turning
Seahawks are feeling a
pile of
little bad.
pile of poo. And no, I never thought that I'd care about Russell Wilson again. But there's something about him, I like his new no sign off call, no, bull crap. He's just like, we just got to keep piling on this. And Coach Tomlin's, he's got our backs and he knows what he's doing, and we'll just listen to what he says and we'll go from there. But
No,
this game was another really good game by Russell. He had some amazing throws in this game. He had two touchdowns passes called back. They had three touchdowns called back in this game, dude. And two of them were amazing touchdown throws that had nothing to do with the play.
a penalty. Yeah.
But he rolls with those punches, and a lot of quarterbacks like literally will fall apart. Like Aaron Rodgers, he gets a touchdown called back, he literally falls apart.
I was gonna say, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is almost at the point where if he gets a touchdown called back, he's gonna walk off the field and be like, I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah, you guys are cheating.
Yeah. I'm gonna go do ayahuasca with Robert Kennedy.
But now they
Um,
got a bye week, and I guess we'll see who Tomlin decides to go with.
so and especially and here's an interesting thought. Everyone They saw the Steelers. They know that they had some issues at quarterback. They picked up two free agent quarterbacks that had not had a lot of success on their previous teams. They had a quarterback battle. Russell Wilson won the quarterback battle, got injured in training camp. Justin Fields starts, does really well. They make the bold decision to put Russell back in when he gets healthy. He comes in, does even better, and now the Ravens are faltering. Can Pittsburgh win the division? That's a bold prediction, man. I think they can do it.
I would love it. I think they split with Baltimore,
Yeah.
which keeps that window open. So I definitely am keeping my eyes on it, but I'm not ready to predict that just yet. They are ahead right now.
All right. Well, here's an easier prediction. The Jets are not going to win their division.
The Jets are
And so Robert Saleh gets shit canned from the Jets, can't get along with Aaron Rodgers, can't score points. He's seen he's been hired by my Packers as like a special offensive consultant. So he could basically comes in and is just like, hey, here's a couple of things you can think about. I think it feels a lot like it feels a lot like Green Bay kind of throwing a middle finger at Aaron Rodgers a bit, which I'm totally okay with. But man, how fucking dysfunctional is this Jets team right now because of him?
well, Gobo, they went all in. Okay. They went all in on the Aaron Rodgers project, and it has been a colossal failure. In fact, I'm thinking about teams that have gone all in on somebody or some philosophy that have colossally failed, and I can't think of a bigger.
I can't. The only other time I've seen a team go all in on a quarterback like this is when the Broncos took Peyton.
And they won a
But
Super Bowl.
they won a Super Bowl with him, so it's hard to say they made a wrong choice.
Yeah.
And then
So
the year before when they lost the Super Bowl, they had the number one offense and Peyton was MVP.
ever,
Yeah.
I remember that. You know why I remember that?
I know why you remember that.
Yeah.
And that was a great Seattle team that beat them in that Super Bowl. Um,
Yeah. That was a fun
but
time.
you're right. They've gone all in on a guy that the rest of the league has basically, sunsetted. He's older than any other player in the league, aside from maybe a couple of kickers. Um, And then now, not only is he not producing on the field, but he is a cancer to your free agency. So it's like he's gotten the coach fired and he's gotten them to send draft capital to the Raiders for Devontae Adams, a player who is finished because he's friends. He did the same thing with Alan Lazard. They made him pick up Alan Lazard's contract because Aaron Rodgers is friends with him. We talked about it a couple of times before. If Mike McCarthy gets fired mid-season, which I don't think he will because Jerry Jones is too much of an asshole to admit that he's wrong, do they bring on Mike McCarthy as interim head coach or permanent head coach? Because let's just recreate the 2014 Packers who are all 10 years older now.
Yeah. Do you remember when I was talking about Kansas City and how I liked them trading their fourth round picks for quantified stars?
For D-Hop. Yeah.
I like that because a fourth round pick does not help the Chiefs get better. He maybe doesn't make the team. The Jets, who draft really, really well, they need those picks. I mean, this team outside of Aaron Rodgers, when he's done, when he finally hangs it up, and honestly, I keep hearing people say that he's going to be there next year, and I'm like, why on earth would you do that? Like
Because
seriously,
that is what the Jets keep saying. They're just like, we're all in. We believe in this guy. We know that like once he figures out our system or whatever, like whatever fucking bullshit excuse they can come up with to not admit that they made a colossal fucking mistake. You don't double down on your mistakes, man. You fix them. That's how you get better. That's why the Jets don't win Super Bowls.
just awful.
I feel bad. Jails, I'm sorry, bro. Like I love you. You're a great dude. Do anything for you. Your team is fucking awful and I
I
hate it.
can't think of a bigger failure than the Jets. in the NFL.
In the NFL, no. I mean, the Colorado Rockies is probably the baseball Jets, but um, yeah, goddamn. What a bad football team. Um, Big injuries this week, and it's getting to be that part of the season. Stephon Diggs, ACL, out. Audi 5,000, and that I don't want to say that's like super detrimental for Houston, but it's certainly not a good scenario. Like it's they have other options. Houston's a pretty deep team, but like yeah, Diggs is that's a tough one to lose.
That's significant when they already weren't playing as well as they did last year. I don't want to say CJ Stroud's regressing, but it's not the exciting, shiny new thing that he was last year. I'm not. I don't know if people are figuring him out or what, but yeah, they're not as exciting as they were last year, which they should. I mean, they should be able to build on last year. They
Yeah.
didn't really. Not sure
I
what.
would I would say don't give up on the Texans yet.
No, they're still a formidable opponent.
Yeah, they still have more talent than every team in their division by a long shot. I think they definitely will host a playoff game. That happens. You never know what can happen. They end up in a late season or in a playoff game against the Chiefs, against the Bills. I see them competing in those games, if not winning them. So, okay. Buys. Ain't no lie. Got some buys here. We got Pittsburgh and San Francisco taking a break this week. Which is good. San Francisco definitely needs to heal up a little bit. They got, because they lost Ayuk for the season. Debo's kind of banged up. McCaffrey is still potentially coming back at some point. I don't really know. Brock Purdy, it's pretty obvious that he's not going to be able to do this on his own. So it's like if you don't refill his gigantic, colossal fucking offensive arsenal, San Francisco could falter in that division. And then the Steelers, much deserved break. They've been killing it. Let him rest up. Russell Wilson, he's an older gentleman, let him have a cheese sandwich and play some sorry with his kids. I feel like that's the type of shit he does when he's by himself. Um, so he can go back and then slaughter all the teams on the field. Um, yeah, play Fortnite. You know that motherfucker plays Fortnite. Um, yeah, let's get into some picks. Mr. Dames, we got a slate of games. Um, some of them good, some of them not as good.
I thought this was a pretty good week, bro.
I'm looking at it right now. I think that it's like some huge marquee matchups. Baltimore and Denver is going to be a lot of fun. Obviously the Packers and Lions is going to be a showdown. Um, and then there's a couple of like who gives a shit toilet bowl games that could be fun.
But even those teams, they feel like they should be playing each other.
Well, yeah,
It's
a
like
lot of
it feels like tournament play where these teams lose. Now
yeah,
they
they're
have
in like the
each other.
consolation bracket.
Now
Yeah,
they face each other, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. That should happen.
yeah. We got like the NIT tournament coming up here.
But again, Gobo, we start off with the fucking Jets in fucking prime fucking time. How many times is goddamn shit gonna happen? This
You
nobody
took
gives a fuck.
you took
Even
the
New
words out of
York
my
doesn't
mouth,
give a
dude.
fuck anymore.
You took the words out of my mouth. Why the fuck? Like at this point, I feel like I'm watching fucking like Bad Girls Club or The Real World. Like it's just I'm just watching this to see who's gonna throw up and fight each other. Fuck the Jets. Why do they get a primetime slot every goddamn week? They're like one of the worst teams in the league. Statistically, which is crazy because it's like, yeah, you take, and it's like, I fucking like, and we're gonna keep dunking on the Jets. You have Sauce Gardner, you have fucking Garrett, what's his name?
Wilson.
Yeah, you have fucking Brees Hall. You have these great players, and you can't win games because your quarterback's an asshole. Like, anyways, I get to pick first. Houston's gonna win this game. I don't fucking. It doesn't matter. Like if CJ Stroud plays well, it doesn't matter if they're banged up. It doesn't matter that it's in New York or in prime time or any of this shit. Houston knows how to win games, and Aaron Rodgers. Because I'm not even gonna say the Jets. It's Aaron Rodgers. The Texans are playing Aaron Rodgers on Thursday night, and they're gonna beat him. I don't 27-7.
All right. I got Houston winning 28-17. Um, I'm done dunking on the Jets. They're not done. I will be dunking
I,
on them every week, but
I was
for
gonna say
today,
we do have weekly shows,
I
so
don't
yeah.
have anything else to say other than why why aren't these games being flexed out?
Right. Like the whole world doesn't want to watch the fucking Packers and Lions game. Jesus. Fuck the Jets. Anyways, um your pick, Atlanta hosts Dallas.
Dude, that's what I'm telling you. This is hard for me.
Have
I
you
know
ever looked
you're already
Atlanta
like, this
straight
is
up?
simple. This is simple. There's no way that Dallas can beat Atlanta. I'm not so sure about that. All right. Um, are they truly down? Are they truly done? Is this one of the games that Kirk Cousins plays wildly inconsistent and doesn't get it done? There are some variables here, and you have to admit that it makes it a little more difficult. I'm gonna go with the smart choice and say Atlanta wins. I'm gonna go 31-24. But that said, I will not be surprised if Dallas wins this game. I won't be shocked. I'll be like, all right, yeah, I could have called that.
Ugh.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
I'm trying. I'm that was like I was like the whole time I was like, please don't pick Atlanta, please don't pick Atlanta. Because you're right. Atlanta has had stellar games this year. They have had some dog shit games this year. Like their game against Seattle was a really good example of how inconsistent Kirk Cousins can be. And if he plays that way, Dallas has the talent to win. That being said, Dallas isn't winning. They're not beating anybody. Like they're struggling, even against the bad teams. And so it's like Atlanta would have like Dallas is not going to win this game. Atlanta would have to lose it. If that makes sense. Like, and it's so hard. I know, like, I want to pick Dallas because you picked Atlanta, but I don't know if I can. I'm gonna pick Dallas. I'm gonna pick Dallas. I'm gonna assume that Kirk Cousins can't do it 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna assume that some of the tremendously talented players on the Cowboys are gonna figure their shit out after that loss last week. And I'm gonna say they win 31-30 in the Mercedes-Benz dome.
See, and that sounds completely reasonable to me, what you just said.
Like
So,
I don't want to pick Dallas, but I'm going to because I think you're right. There's a chance that Atlanta fucks this up. Okay. Um, here's another game that I would much rather watch in prime time
fun.
than
This one's fun.
this one's great. I'm excited for this game. Um, and I wish it was on prime time and not the Jets. Baltimore hosting the Red Hot Broncos. Baltimore in a statistical category going into this season, you think that this the Ravens win this game 99 times out of 100. Momentum is a thing. Denver has been killing it. The Ravens just lost to the Browns last week. So like what's gonna happen? So I got the T on this one, so Gotta pick first, and this one's tough. Um, I'm gonna take Baltimore at home. Rookie quarterback, a lot of pressure coming in. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be raucous. Those Baltimore fans are gonna let their team know how they feel about that loss last week. And I think Lamar, he's got a new toy and Deontay coming out. Um, and he was pissed at the end of that game. If you saw him after the Browns game, he like threw his helmet. He was like, he's fiery. Lamar does not like to lose. I don't see him losing this game unless Bo Nix has like a career performance.
What's your score?
Oh shit. 31-27.
All right. I will I'll do you one dirty. I'll take Denver here.
Okay.
27-24. Um, for the record, had I had first choice on this, I would have taken Baltimore because of the things that you said. But I'm if there was no chance, I would not.
No,
But
there's a
Cleveland
chance.
can do it. Cleveland can do it. Denver should be able to do it. And I like Sean Payton here. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of like got a little bit of a wind of my sail pushing behind Denver a little bit because I like Bo Nix. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't so much like Sean Payton,
Yeah.
but
This
Denver's
is,
been
has me
terrible.
thinking, and I'm just thinking out loud about this. I wonder what the issue was with Sean Payton and Russell.
Dude, he just doesn't he
They
doesn't
just
like
don't like each other.
how Magoo he is.
I mean, yeah, he's Magoo as fuck, but like the dude plays. Like at the end of the day, who gives a shit? But I always imagine like maybe Russell Wilson like walked in and Sean Payton was like taking a shit and forgot to lock the door or something, and that they just never really got over that awkwardness.
Well, he had to come into that job assessing the job and saying like what's been the problem. And when he looked at the offense from the year before he got there, he had to be like, all right, it's Russell. Let me dig a little bit deeper. Oh, you have your own office in the building. Oh, you're bringing in your own coaches. That stops now. And they were just probably rubbing each other the wrong way from the very beginning because Russell had been allowed to do things that most quarterbacks don't get to do. And he's like, what have you done? What I owe you nothing. And so he came in there with that attitude and I just I can't imagine Russell Wilson not getting along with anybody. If Russell Wilson could be friends with Marshawn Lynch, the two of the most opposite people on the spectrum, um, I can see that the other person is the person that has the problem with Russell Wilson. He just deals with whatever. I don't really see him being argumentative to the
I
point of having
I
having
love
actual argument.
I honestly love Marshawn Lynch, like post NFL career and his kind of like passive commentating, like hanging out with the ESPN guys and the Madden guys, and he's just like his like crazy like muscular football autism is like so endearing to me.
Dude, he is post career has earned him Hall of Fame status.
I
His
think,
numbers were
well,
pretty good, but he was really bad with the media. But since his retirement, I think that puts him to where he gets the votes.
I mean, I think the Hall of Fame should have like at the opening door the fucking looping video of that run against the Saints.
Yeah.
Like that nobody in the world can do that except him. At that time, at that point in time, you can't do it anymore. But like, god damn, man, like you don't break nine tackles in a play and not make the and not make the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Um, so you're taking Denver. Understandable. This next one, I don't think we're going to disagree about, but you have the first pick. Miami heads up north to take on Josh Allen and the table breaking Buffalo Bills Mafia.
Yeah, I got 35-22 in favor of Buffalo. I just think it's at Buffalo. Josh Allen, um, he's been playing a lot of good ball, mistake free for the most part. I mean, he did have one pick against Seattle, but like I said, that was his first pick in like 300 plus attempts. And if you look at history of Josh Allen, you'll see, oh, he throws a lot of touchdowns, but that interception number is too close for comfort. Usually, if he cleans that up and he takes these new weapons that he's got, they're going to be real tough to beat.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Josh Allen's having a career year, man, and Tua is, I mean, he's one bad hit away from pushing grocery carts around at King Supers. I'm taking Buffalo in this game as well. I'm gonna go. Buffalo doesn't tend to run up the score. I'm gonna go 31-8. Buffalo over Miami.
All right.
All right. So if this next game was a bowl of cereal, it would definitely be grape nuts because it sucks. Um,
Oh man, I
you
love
like
nuts.
how do you like grape? They're not grapes or nuts. What the fuck?
I
Anyways,
I love it.
all right, now this starts our new cereal debate show. Um, the hapless Carolina Panthers host the irrevocably injured New Orleans Saints. And one of these teams has to win. Oh God,
They
and I
don't
have to
have to. They could tie.
they could tie. They could tie. 0-0 tie. 32 turnovers. Um, anyways, I'm gonna take Carolina at home. I don't know why they're missing Deontay. This is gonna be one of those games where like the last team that scores is gonna go for two because they don't want to go into fucking overtime. Um, and I'm gonna say it's Carolina. I'm gonna say the injuries and Spencer Rattler and New Orleans is nonsense is gonna lead to another loss. Carolina wins it 15-14.
Well, this happens to be where I think we see the coming out party for Spencer Rattler. All right. We see the fangs come out, and the bite marks are too much for the Carolina Panthers to handle. I'm gonna say 21-19, the New Orleans Saints.
The Aints. You know what? I'm here for it. I'm gonna probably watch at least part of this game.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
because goddamn, it's been a long time since we've seen such ineptitude on an NFL field. Um, here's another one that's could this game I think could be close. I have no interest in watching it. It's the Cincinnati I almost called them the Bearcats. The Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Um, let's hear your thoughts. I wanna be able to rebut to whatever nonsense you
Well,
say.
I'm giving you an opening to rebut.
Yeah.
Rebut. I'm gonna butt so you can rebut.
I'm gonna butt again.
Or
That's what
you can
that's
unbutt
yeah.
or debut whatever butt you want to do for my butt.
No, I get it. This game is butt. Like, so yeah, so
But
like yeah.
you got a lot of great players on Cincinnati, and then you got Max Crosby on the Raiders. That's the only reason I'm taking Cincinnati. It's at home, and just the litany of roster players that I can name and put a face to and say, wow, you guys should be way better than this. Versus Max Crosby, which Max Crosby, if it was Max Crosby against New Orleans or Carolina, I would take Max Crosby. But this is the fucking Bengals, bro. This is Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. I just I can't name a defensive player for the Bengals. It drives me nuts. Um,
I not off the top of my head.
escapes me. But that's why I want to watch this game so I can learn it. So I can learn it because I have no problem telling people, yeah, I do this every week, every day, and I don't know everything about it. It'd be very difficult. What am I, Ben? I bet you he can name 10 players off of Cincinnati's
I
defense.
was like, yeah, Ben's like an encyclopedia for
But
sure.
he
Um,
also is a nerd that doesn't know what he's talking about, despite having all that knowledge. So
what does he
twenty-eight
say?
17 Cincinnati.
And here, from a statistical perspective, so I bet Ben Shrewsbury would pick Cincinnati in this game too. But here's where I'm different. You got to have balls in this game.
I don't have balls. Great. Thanks.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. No, you make some pretty bold predictions. I'm going to take the Raiders because you picked Cincinnati first. And I am not confident in this. And it's funny, you said exactly what I was thinking. I was like, who would I pick the Raiders over on a regular basis? And you're right, it'd be New Orleans or Carolina. Those are like the only two. The Jets. I'd pick them to beat the Jets. Um, um, I'm gonna pick Las Vegas because Cincinnati seems to find ways to lose to shitty teams. They just do. They lost. That's the one Panthers win. Cincinnati does not play consistently, even at home. Max Crosby is one of the best perimeter rushers in the league. He would be, I mean, he's going to be an all-star. Dude would be talking about, playoff. If he was on a better team, he makes any team in the league better. I think he's going to make Joe Burrow hurt, and I think they're going to make some bonehead plays and give the Raiders an opportunity to win this. I'm going to say Raiders win this one 17-14.
All right. It's locked in.
Locked in. All right. The Browns hosting the Chargers. Jameis Winston will get his second start. Will he get his second win? This is my pick.
In Cleveland,
In
bro.
Cleveland, where they just beat Baltimore.
Jim Harbaugh.
I don't like how tough this is. I don't
This
like
is a
it.
good game, dude.
It
This
is.
these two teams should be playing each other right now in the bracket.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to consider any of the players on the field, and I'm going to think, and you mentioned him, Jim Harbaugh. He was the coach in Michigan, and he was the first time that Michigan had beat Ohio State in over a decade was under his tutelage. I think he will take his California team in there and beat another Ohio team this Sunday. I'm taking the Chargers. Um, I think Justin Herbert gets that offense moving a little bit. I think the Jameis Winston throws a couple of picks. Um, Chargers win it 27-14.
Well, shoot. You put me in a weird position.
Because now you got to pick the
Over
Browns.
grabbing my ankles right now because I agree with you. I think the Cleveland win over Baltimore was straight up. Well, it was a hate fuck. If the equivalent
It's a division game. Yeah,
of,
rivalry games can go any way imaginable.
and they were sick of the narrative. They were sick of everything that's been said about them, and they just went out and took it out on their division rival. This isn't a division rival. These guys are from sunny California, but they are playing at 10 a.m., which is something we have to consider. Their time, 10 a.m. local time. Um, but I think that they can beat Cleveland in Cleveland. I don't feel good enough about Cleveland's chances to pick them. You know what? I'll take Cleveland. I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Wow. I was like, you don't have to take Cleveland just because
I
I just
know, but I'm gonna say 26-19. I'm gonna take Cleveland. Um, the reason I'm doing that is because it's a 10 a.m. game.
yeah.
And Cleveland's at home. They're coming off a big win. The emotions are still running high. Justin Herbert hasn't proven shit to me. Winston has proven that at least when he's mad, he can smash and ball out. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Here's another thing to think about too. That crowd is probably going to be pretty raucous. And it's also because guess who sent the Guardians home? Oh, wait, no, that was the Yankees. Never mind. I got them mixed up. I was like, oh yeah, there's an LA team and a Cleveland team that's no longer in. Yeah, my bad. Um, man, I feel like you always get the first pick on the easy ones. Giants hosting Washington.
It's
Take
just
the Giants, Dames.
it's in Meadowlands,
It
man.
is.
This is not easy.
In sunny New Jersey.
This is not an easy game. But I think I listened to Jazz's weekly video, and he's trying to get to 500 before the bye week or Halloween or something. And I'm just like, bro, 500 is not that's not going to get you anything. It's going to get you a worse draft pick. And I kind of feel like they're trying to determine, or he's trying to say that they're trying to determine whether Danny Dimes stays on the team. To me, I already know the answer to
I was
this.
gonna say, I feel like that's
You
a
need a
done.
new quarterback. 8-8 does not make you keep your job in most. I mean, hey, I meant to do this job. Picture your job. Everybody at home, whatever it is that you do. Imagine you do this all the time, but you only succeed 50% of the time. Are you going to keep your job at that point, Gobo?
I mean, maybe if you're like panning for gold, but like, yeah, I
But
mean,
your job,
yeah, fuck no. But like the equivalent of failing at my job would be like going in front of like a public meeting and like throwing up on the microphone is like the equivalent of what Daniel Jones does on the field.
right? Imagine if you threw up on the microphone half the time
Half the
that you
time.
the microphone.
Yeah, it's like we got to get this guy out of here.
In fact, you throw up 25% of the time, you probably don't have a job. Or they're like, say, we need to get this guy some help, right?
Yeah, no, I don't understand the obsession with
I,
Daniel.
I can in good confidence pick the Giants, and I certainly hope that you don't, just to spite me. Washington is gonna win this division. Um, there's some really good games on their schedule coming up that I absolutely cannot wait for. This is not one of them. I will tune in just because I love the division rivalry and I like watching New York teams go up in flames. So I'm gonna say we got another 40 burger, 40-21 in favor of Washington. Let's
Yeah,
say
I'm not gonna waste any more time talking about this game. Yeah, Washington wins 37-10. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I mean, Washington faltered a little bit against that Bears defense, but like the the Bears defense, as hapless as they are much better than the Giants, and Daniel Jones is fucking awful. So yeah, no, Giants suck. Um,
I want to talk about this one
you want to
first.
talk about this
It's your pick, but
grape nuts cereal bowl game?
hear me out. New England gets a big giant division win against the Jets. All right. Look, every other team in the league, that's not a big win. But when you're the New England Patriots and you had Tom Brady and now you're facing Aaron Rodgers, your quarterback goes down, you got Jacoby. That's a huge win to beat the Jets. All right. And now you get to go and play a team that just got obliterated by the Detroit Lions. And you're like, this is something that could give us a little bit of momentum. All right. It is in Tennessee, it's not in Foxborough. So keep that in mind. I think I know you're going to pick, and you should. But this is not a terrible matchup. This is like, and I'm trying to put myself in the head of a Patriots fan right now. If I just came off that big victory, I wouldn't want to go and play in Green Bay right now. I need some momentum building up to that game. And like a couple wins in a row gives me that confidence that I can do it. So what say you on this game?
I'm taking New England. Um, yeah, and for everything that you just said, I think that New England's kind of an up and coming team. They got they got their new coach. They got a couple of pieces in. I think Drake May is probably the right answer at quarterback for now. If not, Brisket is he suffices. I'll never call him by his real name. Um,
I don't know if you've noticed, but every place on Lock 22 where I mention the Chiefs, I call them the chefs.
yeah, that
Or
makes
like you
sense.
misspelled Chiefs. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Yeah, right.
Every
Yeah,
week I hear that.
yeah, that's great. But who are the chefs? Yeah, and then just the fact of the matter is that Tennessee's done. They're not trying to win anymore. There's a couple of guys like trying to keep their contracts, trying to like show out for new contracts for other teams. I think their coach gets fired at the end of the season. I think Tennessee's just spiraling. So, score. New England 22, Tennessee 9.
All right. I'm so surprised I'm going to pick New England here. I like your score actually. I'm going to say 21-10 though. Um, just to change it up a bit.
Sure. Yeah, I think that it's not going to be a terribly exciting game to watch, but I think New England will take care of business. All right. Up next, the Bears. Off of that tremendously embarrassing loss, by the guy talking shit and missing his coverage on the Hail Mary, goes to Arizona, take on Kyler Murray and the Desert Dogs, which are also birds, the Cardinals.
Oh, and I get to pick all the easy games.
I
It's
mean,
not an easy game,
this one
bro.
could be a trap game, but I want to hear your opinion.
I mean, they're the same team. What's the trap about this? I want to know. Tell me.
The trap is that Chicago has been winning and Arizona hasn't.
Arizona is one and is tied for the division lead right now.
Oh shit.
They're 4-4, and the Bears are 4-3.
Oh, never mind. Okay, this is a tough one then.
So this is not an easy call. And it's in Arizona. I'm gonna pick solely on emotions on this. All right. I want the Bears to go in there and just beat the ever-loving piss out of them. We got two of the best young receivers in the game. I will go to bat that Romo Dunze was the best receiver in the draft, but so far Marvin Harrison Jr., whom everyone else thought was, is the real deal. And I have to say is because Kyler Murray has experience in the NFL and Caleb Williams just does not. Because any other team would be, not any other team, but any other team with a great quarterback would be finding Romo Dunze on the daily, every game. Um, I really want Chicago to win this game, so I'm not. I'm just gonna go 24-21 and just cross my fingers, put my head between my legs, and kiss my ass goodbye because now you get to choose.
Okay, cool. Thank God. I was so afraid you were gonna make me choose the Bears. I'll take Arizona. Um, a lot of the same reasons you just said is that yeah, Romo Dunze and Marvin Harrison Jr. are the best rookie receivers in the league. I think this will be a fun showdown. I hope, but it's going to come down to which quarterbacks can get them the ball more consistently. I think Kyler, even though he's degraded a bit, he's definitely not the player he once was. And the Cardinals don't have the same protection packages. I think they suffer a lot of the same issues that the Bears do. So I'm going to take the Cardinals at home, 28-25.
All right, and just so we don't get I don't know, people talking behind our backs, I gotta throw out Neighbors is a good rookie wide receiver. Jas, if you're watching this, please don't take offense to the fact that we put these other two guys ahead of him because I don't know that he should be behind or ahead of them,
I
but he's
mean,
right up
Malik.
there with them. He's right up
I
there.
think I think Malik Neighbors will be great next year when they have a quarterback.
Right.
Okay. Going on up to the city of brotherly love. Big Dick Lawrence makes his appearance
Oh,
against
have fun with
the
this one.
Eagles. This one's tough.
Give,
I'm gonna pick Philly.
hold on. Let me give you a little substance here.
Okay.
5-2 versus 2-6. Why is this a hard choice?
Well, and it's because the Eagles are inconsistent. Um, they win big games like against the Packers, and then they lose winnable games like against Atlanta.
I'm going to
So
take whoever you don't. I'm telling you right now.
that's fine, and I'll make it easy for you because I'm picking Philly. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles at home. And it's not because I think that they're tremendously better than the Jaguars. I mean, they are, but I think that like it's also a coaching perspective type thing. Um, Philly, the Jaguars they're I feel like they're punting the season. I feel like they're building draft capital, and I think that a win does more damage than a loss would. And so I don't see them keeping up in this game. I think that they might have some fun with it, like do some trick plays, go for it on fourth down, random onside kick, shit like that. But like I don't see them getting a win. So I'm taking Philly 34-13.
What was the score?
34-13.
Whoa. All right. Well, I already broke the surprise here. I'm picking Jacksonville to get their third win of the season, to go 3-6. And I'm gonna
The big three.
say it's 31-28. Jacksonville. I just think they can't stay down forever, dude. I think they're getting really unlucky. Like they certainly got unlucky in Green Bay. They all but had that game, and well, they had it until they didn't.
I mean, I guess. Um, oh man. Oh, you get to pick first on this one. I don't like that. Um, okay. The game of the week. Possibly an NFC Championship preview. My Packers hosting the ironclad Dan Campbell led Detroit Lions. Dames,
Okay,
what do you think about this game?
Gobo. All right, hold on. Okay, here's what I honestly think. I have the privilege of already losing to Detroit and being butthurt about that.
I thought you guys beat Detroit.
No, we lost to Detroit. Thanks for bringing it up again. We beat Detroit last year.
Oh, that's what it was.
Uh, Jared Goff went 18 for 18
That's right.
against us. Jared Goff went 18 for 18 against us. Um, my brother just texted me that he's eating boiled dinner that I made and brought to him on Sunday. For the recipe, check out our YouTube channel. Marv's Makes episode 1 boiled dinner. All right. Sorry about that.
The
Shameless.
fuck is a boiled dinner?
It sounds disgusting. I give you that. No one ever says I want boiled dinner for dinner, but my family does because they know how amazing it is. Check out the episode Marv's Makes episode 1 boiled dinner. All right. We have not yet lost to Green Bay this season. So I still like you. I still like you. But I don't, and I want you, so I want you to win this game. But I also know that we have this thing going where what I pick, blah, 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 blah. And how sometimes when you pick against Green Bay in a game that they're supposed to lose, they somehow win. and I'm trying to manage this situation in my head, along with my emotions on how much I hate Detroit and how much I don't yet hate Green Bay, but will once they beat us. But at least I'll win the Hail Mary argument. Shut up. I'm gonna take Detroit in this game. I'm gonna take them 38-35. I hope I'm doing the right thing by you. Your turn.
I appreciate it and what you're trying to do, and I think that we've been doing this show for almost for. I mean, after doing this shit for 3 years now, I think it's like you understand how I think about football, and you're right. Um, you're absolutely right in the fact that I'm also going to pick Detroit. Not because I think the Packers can't win this game. I think because in these big games where the Packers should lose and I pick against them, they find a way to fuck my pickup. So, and I would much rather have them fuck my pickup and then win this huge game against a division rival and move in. If we win this game, we go into the division lead. So, I'm taking Detroit on the road. It's gonna be a tough game. Like save this on your TiVos, every 56-year-old person who still has a TiVo. Because it is gonna be a banger. This is gonna be a fun game to watch. A lot of big hits, a lot of flying balls, a lot of controversy maybe. It's in Lambeau. Like it's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm taking Detroit on the road. Um, and I'll take them 31-30.
Whew.
I
Okay.
know. I
You're
know.
a nutsack.
Oh, and then this is funny. So you got to pick first in my game, and I get to pick first in your game. The Seahawks hosting the surprisingly good Rams, who just knocked off that Vikings team in primetime last week. Is this the Sunday night game?
No.
No. That's Minnesota? Okay. Um, Seattle hosting the Rams. I will try to do right by you as well. I know you talked about how scared you were of the Rams being at full strength. I think that is a fair assessment. And I really like to pick Seattle at home because of the 12s and how crazy they get and just like what a good stadium atmosphere it is. But you guys shit the bed last week, man. Like the Seahawks were completely out of sorts. I'm taking the Rams on the road. Um, Score wise, I'm gonna go 27-14. Um, yeah, I think Matt Stafford with a full cadre of receivers is too much for the Seattle defense to keep up with.
Um, I'll just say I'll say my emotions out loud, go for you.
Do it, man. What else are we good for if we can't do
Ouch.
that?
I say ouch like that because nothing you said hurts me or affects me whatsoever because I look at Seattle in the last 30 games at Lumen Field, where legend has become that it's one of the hardest places to play in all of sports. If you're an opposing team, but we're 15-15 in our last 30 home games. And that goes back to Pete Carroll era and Mike McDonald era as well. And it's just not pretty. That said, we have to win this game, Gilbert.
You do. This is a big game.
And again, my prognostication is tuned into that fact. Can Seattle win this game? Absolutely. They absolutely can win this game. All right. You have to get to Matt Stafford. If you don't get to Matt Stafford, he's going to go 25 for 25 on you all day long because if there's one player that could make Detroit better, it's Matt Stafford. And look at what Jared Goff did to us 18 for 18. But that said, we have to win this game. I don't see myself picking Seattle a whole lot in the future. Um, and we've still got to play Arizona twice. So what does that tell you? I'm not sure about those games. But what I know is
Must win.
there will still be hope. There will still be hope for the Seattle team if we can beat McVay and the Rams. So I'm gonna say 31-24 Seattle. This may be the last time I pick them.
Why Seahawks?
Desperation. It's desperation at this point.
That's right. Okay. Now that we got past the emotional part of the show, we have two more games to pick. Sunday night game. Um, Heading on up to Minneapolis and their gorgeous stadium. They're friends from right across the lake there. The Indianapolis Colts being hosted by the Minnesota Vikings. I believe this is your pick.
Listen to this, Gobo. These Minnesota Vikings were once the toast of the town, the toast of the NFL. And then what happened? They get punched in the gut,
Two
face, I
losses.
guess that is, by the Rams. Okay. And now this team that just benched their quarterback has only one less victory than what was once the toast of the NFL. The 5-2 Vikings, the 4-4 Colts. Why are you benching your quarterback again? Tell me again, you idiots. For the life of me, I don't understand it, Gobo. I'm going to take Minnesota in this game 31-12.
Yeah, on top of everything you just said, which is super valid, like the Vikings, the Vikings traditionally, when they have a good team, they struggle in games where they're under a lot of pressure. Plays things like playoff games, like division rivalries, primetime games. I know this is a primetime game, but like, where they're facing an opponent that they should lose to. Man, Joe Flacco is not going to be able to handle this Vikings defense. And Sam Darnold, like they got that new tackle coming in. He's going to have a few more seconds to throw it. He's going to feast, man. Like the Vikings are going to blow him out in this game, and the Colts. I hope they lose bad enough that they consider putting Anthony Richardson back in because
At halftime.
Flacco at fucking yeah, like 2 minutes into the second quarter. Um, Vikings win 47-14.
All right.
All
Okay.
right. And then rounding it up, another team we love to see in prime time. It's the Chefs hosting the Bucks in Arrowhead.
Dude,
Pirates, Indians, man,
you know how mad I am
fuck
that
this
those
game. Like I don't
receivers are
care.
out? You know how mad I am that those receivers are out?
I know because Tampa could have beat them, but they're not going to without the receivers. Oh, it's my pick, is it? Yeah, Chiefs at home. Um, Mahomes is golden in prime time. Kelsey is like so. Take I won't make the ref argument. Whatever, we'll leave that narrative alone. Mahomes is great in prime time. Kelsey got his first touchdown. They added D Hop. Um, Defense is looking okay. If they can avoid mental mistakes, they should have no problems here. Baker Mayfield's playing great, but he's missing his weapons. So I'm taking the Chiefs at home, and they only win by one score, so I'm going to take them 28-21.
All right. I say it's going to be 34-31, but I still got Kansas City with a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Um, boy, oh boy. There's some really fun games to look forward to this week. Um, there's, I mean, aside of the curiosity of New Orleans, Carolina, I'll just watch a little bit of it to see how terrible it is. But aside of that, I mean, I have no problem with any of these games. New England at Tennessee, even like I want to see what New England can do against a really bad team. Can they can they win by like 3 scores?
Right.
That's what I'm kind of
And
looking for, like with Denver. I'm like, obviously they're not going to beat Baltimore by 3 scores, but they did last week what they were supposed to do, and that's beat up on a team and win by multiple scores. And that to me shows like when you there's nothing more special than at the end of a football game, you can end it by taking a knee. If you're playing out through the end like Seattle does almost every game,
every fucking game, yeah.
it's not good. It means that you're not taking advantage of everything that you can, or you're not as good as other teams. But to see a
Yeah.
young team like Denver put anybody away like that, that's exciting to me. I
Mhm.
just love the sport. I want to see like everybody in the playoff hunt. I mean, I'm not a selfish guy. I won the Super Bowl once, and I'm like, I don't ever really need to see that again. I will love it if it happens, but like just to have experienced it once was absolute magic, and I'll never forget that. Um,
Yeah, Chiefs fans,
yeah, you greedy fucks.
fucking assholes.
And
Um,
we're putting closed captions, so and we're muting this so you don't know what we're saying about you
I
because you
know, right?
read.
Well, Chiefs fans don't know how to read. Um, I'm just kidding. I only know one Chiefs fans. It's my friend's son. He's like in his early 20s, and he's a lovely young man. So yeah, I don't want to say anything negative about him. Um, Honestly, yeah, and that's what I feel so good about like the Packers this year is that like when we play the shit teams for the most part, we've blown them out. Like we blew out the Titans, we blew out the Cardinals. Um, we struggled against Jacksonville, but it was a road game and we lost our quarterback. So
You know, Gobo, and I just say this as close to close out the show. When your team is good and has the chance to win, whether they do or not, it's still fun to be engaged. Like I can't imagine being a Jets fan. Like I just can't imagine it. Like you don't really have a chance to win any of these games.
right,
Think you do because you win all in, and then you get up on this mountain where you're like, we're the best team, and then you're literally the worst team. That hurts. But when you're like a Packers fan, or even a Seahawks fan to some degree, you go into games knowing that you have a chance to win, and like it makes it exciting. Like I don't know that the Rams are going to beat us. I
I
like
don't
the
know.
fact that
I
we
don't
have a
know that
really
the Lions are going to beat us, I mean, yeah, it's the same thing.
I love that we have a really hard schedule because those are the games I want to see. I wish we could play Kansas City right now.
I wish a lot of
Unfortunately,
teams could play Kansas City right
have
now.
to play what's on the schedule, but like with the Bills coming into Seattle this week, I was stoked. And I feel like every time I watch us just shoot ourselves in the foot, I'm like, that's okay.
That's what you do.
That's what you guys want to do. It is what it
Anyway,
is. But
anyway.
I love the sport and I love watching all the games. I love the storylines for every team. Um, it's pure gold that they've
I
given us.
mean,
So
the NFL is a special league, man, for sure. I mean, I think it's the I think the best athletes in the world play in these games. I think that nothing can bond a city or municipal area like sport, unifying behind sports, and it's a lot of fun. God damn, it is a lot of fun to watch these games. So make sure you're tuning in. Check out the games. Um, Vote for what jersey you want Gobo to wear next week. We had requests for the Broncos, and I just picked up this Broncos jersey a few months ago, and it's my favorite Broncos color scheme, the dark navy and the orange stripes, which is incidentally the uniforms they were wearing when they beat the Packers in the Super Bowl. So I don't know where that happens in my mind, but it's my favorite Broncos jersey. I fucking hate the jerseys they have now. Um, Anyways, check us out on TikTok. Watch all of our little bite-sized snippets of our shows, as well as our random late night rants about our teams. It's a lot of fun. You can hear me go off on the Vikings before we lost to them. Um, Great video.
hey,
Um,
Maybe we can get a pregame Colorado Avalanche video
Oh, sure.
from the seats.
From the seats. Yeah, that's right.
Be great.
I will be at Ball Arena this evening watching my Avalanche take on their 2022 Cup contenders, the Tampa Bay Lightning, where the Avs came out successful. So hopefully there will be a similar scenario tonight. The Avs are kind of struggling with their goalie right now, but that is a different sport. Um, but
Luck.
yeah, we will we'll get those sent over and yeah, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, share, talk about it with your friends, tell your boss, tell your mailman. We got baseball, the World Series. Can the Yankees hang on and force another game, or is Shohei Ohtani and him actually literally just being Godzilla in human form gonna take it?
Well, two things, Gobo. If the Yankees win tonight, they will make history by forcing a game 6. No other team in World Series history has gone down 3 games to none and ended up playing in a game 6.
Okay.
That's a crazy stat because you would figure that it would have at least happened once or twice. But also, it gives the Dodgers a chance to win back at home. If they win tonight, it's in New York, and well, as fun as that will be for them, I'm sure I'd much rather see history be made with a game 6 and have them, if they're gonna win it either game 6 or 7 back in LA. But I want game 7. So
Yeah. Well,
let's go.
selfishly, I don't really want it to go to LA because I'll be in LA in a week, and that's going to be a lot of traffic for the World Series.
It's true.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. James Marvs, Go Boomerang. This has been NFL. See
Check
you
out
next time.
Block 22 Sports Daily. Peace.